Hello and welcome to my final presentation. Today I'll be discussing the life and career of neuroscientist Solomon Snyder. Solomon Snyder was born on December 26, 1938. He grew up in Washington, D.C. and went to school there and now resides in Baltimore, Maryland. He was married to his wife Elaine, who sadly passed away a few years ago, and together they had 2 daughters and now have 5 grandchildren. Before going to college, he did not enjoy science and couldn't see himself in this field. Despite his lack of interest in science, he felt that a career in medicine would provide him a stable life. Taking inspiration from his interests in philosophy and psychology, he chose to focus his studies on neuroscience. In his free time, he enjoys playing guitar, swimming, and playing tennis. He is involved with and has held leadership positions in his local synagogue and the Baltimore Symphony. Dr. Snyder attended Georgetown University for his undergraduate and graduate studies. At the Georgetown School of Medicine, he was mentored by Julius Axelrod. He did a year of residency in San Francisco before attending the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in 1965. As an undergraduate student, Snyder taught guitar lessons and was one day offered a research position by one of his students. He later worked in a lab for the National Institute of Health before becoming an assistant professor at Johns Hopkins University. He quickly moved up within the university, becoming the youngest professor by 1970. In 1980, he founded the school's Department of Neuroscience, where he served as director for 26 years. During his time at Johns Hopkins University, he mentored and worked with graduate students. Some of his most notable students include Candace Pert and Gavril Pasternak. Dr. Snyder is a member of the National Academy of Sciences and founded the scientific advisory boards of 2 separate companies. He's also worked with various neuroscience institutions, including the Lieber Institute and the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation. Solomon Snyder is considered the father of molecular neuropharmacology. Much of his work has revolved around the discovery and classification of neurotransmitters in the brain. He and his team researched a drug known as FK506 and found that it helped to prevent cell death often seen in strokes. He has also worked to identify receptors in the brain and has done research on opiate addiction and proteins related to Huntington's disease. While researching neurochemical signaling, Snyder found that common gases such as carbon monoxide and nitric oxide can act as neurological signaling agents, interfering with our brain signaling. In this video, Snyder discusses some of his research findings and explains how they've been used in the development of pharmaceuticals.
A number of years ago, we became interested in opiate receptors. This reminds us, it seems like ancient history, but actually it's still amazing that in the world of opiates, which exemplify the differentiation of agonists from antagonists, which is so important in all of pharmacology, just changing from an N-methyl to an N-allele converts agonists to antagonists, whereas in the rest of neurotransmitters, you think of atropine, it doesn't look like acetylcholine. You think of beta blockers, they don't look much like norepinephrine. But in the opiate class, there's this beautiful linkage of agonist to antagonist. And the whole concept of what is a partial agonist or not came from opiates. Nalorphine was the first opiate antagonist around 1919, I think. And it was a great opiate antagonist, and then in 1955, Lou Lasagna at Johns Hopkins was using it as an antagonist, and he discovered that it relieved pain. And that led to people starting to think, if you had a drug that was a mixed agonist-antagonist of opiate receptors and it would relieve pain, maybe it would be less addicting, and that gave rise to a whole slew of other drugs.
The information discovered by Snyder and his team is incredibly important today. Using this information, scientists have been able to develop a better understanding of how the human brain works and have been able to identify various chemicals and structures within the brain. Most notably, a majority of Snyder's research can be applied to the development of pharmaceuticals. By understanding neurochemical signaling, scientists can develop and test new drugs, hopefully curing diseases and improving quality of life. Dr. Snyder's incredible career has been recognized by scientists across the world. He's received 9 honorary doctorates and countless awards. Most notably, he was awarded the National Medal of Science in 2003 by President George Bush. I chose to research Solomon Snyder because I'm also interested in pharmacology and neuroscience. I was interested to discover that we both enjoy playing guitar and that we both would describe ourselves as clumsy and reserved. Unlike Dr. Snyder, I always enjoyed my science classes in high school, and I do not follow any religion. I also enjoy doing hands-on lab work, while Dr. Snyder has stated that he much prefers doing the analysis afterwards. To obtain as much information as possible, I tried to use many different types of sources, including articles, newspapers, and institutional websites. Provided below and in the following slide are all of the sources, images, and videos I used to create this presentation.